You're listening to The Jake Asman Show on the SportsMath Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Let's talk some football. We do that by going out to our progressive guest line right now. We bring on Jared Dubin from CBS Sports.com. Jared, appreciate the time. Thanks for being with us here on a Saturday. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Fantastic. So big day for rookies around the NFL. Justin Fields made his debut earlier. Trevor Lawerence, Zach Wilson, Davis Mills, Trey Lance all later tonight. Which rookie quarterback are you personally the most excited to see out there?
Are you talking for the preseason games or for the regular season?
I guess both, if your answer would differ.
Yeah, well, it's been pretty exciting seeing Justin Fields so far today. I'm excited for all these guys. I think they're all really talented. They all make plays with their arms and their legs and with their heads. I think that they're sort of part of the new wave of quarterbacks where, unless you're like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, you can't only win standing tall in the pocket anymore. You have to be able to win standing tall in the pocket and win by throwing off platform and win by getting outside and making plays with your legs, whether that's to extend the play or to run the ball yourself. And I think all of those guys can do that. So I'm excited to see all of them, actually.
You mentioned Justin Fields. I saw part of the game, but I've been on the radio here, so I have not been able to watch every snap. But for those who maybe missed it, give us your thoughts, early impressions of seeing Justin Fields with the Bears.
The dude's got incredible talent. He's so fast. He has such a strong arm. At least today, I thought he made good decisions with the ball. He's able to throw the ball down the field. He can hit, short, quick passes, hit those intermediate throws to the perimeter of the field. He's a very, very talented player. There's a reason that, a lot of people had him as the second best quarterback in the draft. And we're, pretty surprised that he fell even outside the top 10. And I think you saw all of that in the game against the Dolphins.
Looking at a guy like Trevor Lawerence later tonight, Jared, obviously everyone's expecting him to be this generational prospect. He's been touted as that. What are fair expectations for Trevor Lawerence, though, in his first year with the Jaguars?
Yeah, look, I think it's important to keep in mind that most rookies are not very good, and that even goes for, generational type prospects. Peyton Manning, very famously, was pretty bad during his rookie year. It's rare for a rookie quarterback to be an above average player, and that's true whether they turn into a good player for the rest of their career or a bad one. So I think that expectations are probably very high for Lawerence, and because they are so high, it may seem like he's a disappointment. But I think, as long as he's not self-destructing out there, if he makes some plays, if he takes care of the ball, and if he gets his team into the right situations and he's able to, show the flashes of the type of player that everybody thinks he can be, then that's, a solid first season. Obviously, there's the capability for him to do better than that. We've seen plenty of rookie quarterbacks over the last several years have much better rookie seasons. Like if he looks anything like Justin Herbert did last year, the Jaguars will be celebrating all the way until next year's draft when they're like, oh man, if we can get another rookie as good as that, then we'll be set. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that he does come out and sort of, light the league on fire, but it's important to keep expectations in check because even recently with quarterbacks coming in better prepared and throwing so many more passes in college than they used to, it's still really, really difficult for a rookie to have an above average season. And that doesn't mean that they're not going to be good. It just means that they're a rookie and that happens.
Jared Dubin covers the NFL for CBS Sports with us here on the Jake Asman Show, joining us on our progressive guest line. Another guy making his debut later, Jared, is Zach Wilson. I know you're based out of New York. Give me your thoughts on Zach Wilson and just the type of pressure he's going to have to deal with being the quarterback in the biggest media market in the world.
Sure. So I think that he's in a much better position to succeed than the previous Jets quarterback, Sam Darnold. He's not saddled with as bad an offensive line as Darnold played behind for his entire Jets career. He's not saddled with as bad of a group of skill position players as Darnold played with, and he's not saddled with Adam Gase. He has Mike LaFleur, who comes from that Kyle Shanahan style offensive tree that has been, sweeping through the league over the last several years, and for good reason. It puts quarterbacks in position to succeed, and that's the most important thing you can do in the NFL these days. So he's going to be schemed into some easy throws. He's going to be schemed into, design rollouts and things where he only has to, read one side of the field and be able to use his athleticism to make plays, which we saw him do at BYU. So I think he's going to be he's in a good situation because he's in a system that will do everything possible to maximize his talents. And that's really all you could ask for. After that, it's sort of up to him to take advantage of those things.
Has there ever been a greater disparity in coaches from what the Jets had with Adam Gase to the type of personality they have now with Robert Saleh?
I'm sure there has been, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Jared Dubin joining us here, CBS Sports NFL writer, going around the league with him. What are your thoughts on the quarterback battle, although Bill Belichick would tell you it's not a battle going on in New England between Cam Newton and Mac Jones? Do you think the Patriots should play Cam Newton at least at the beginning of the year, or would you be okay if they decided, hey, we're going to go with the rookie and Mac Jones?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm always of the mind that, like, if you're taking a quarterback in the first round, you're pretty clearly committing to him for the next several years. And when you're in that situation, the most important thing for that quarterback to be successful is reps. And the most important thing for that front office and that coaching staff to decide whether or not he's their guy for the future when it comes time to extend him is information. And the front office can't get the information if the quarterback doesn't get the reps. So for me, I would just start these first round quarterbacks right away because you need to have as much information as possible by the time you're making that decision on an extension or a new contract 3-4 years down the line. And realistically, sitting out 5 or 6 games is not going to help him as much as having 5 or 6 more games of information is going to help you make your decision, or having 5 or 6 more games of reps is going to help him in his career. I think it's certainly possible that Cam gives the Patriots a better opportunity to win now. And, their schedule early in the season is fairly soft. So if he does start, it wouldn't be surprising if he kept starting. But I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Cam Newton is not the future of the Patriots at quarterback, and they've already made that decision. So you might as well go in with the decision. That's, the personal preference on my end.
Jared, I'm based here in Houston. Obviously, Deshaun Watson has been a national topic, but it is discussed all the time here, of course, locally. What's your take on just why the NFL has yet to place Deshaun Watson on the commissioner's example list?
The NFL has no internal logic when it comes to these decisions. There's no way you can tell if or when a player is going to be subject to discipline, or what the reasoning behind the discipline will be, or if there will even be a reasoning at all. There is no consistent decision-making process. It makes no sense on any level, and that's why this decision makes no sense on any level.
I mean, are you surprised, or as you're saying, the NFL?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if they put him on the exempt list either. You cannot predict what they're going to do or why, or whether they'll explain it or what the explanation will be, because it's completely random, just based on case by case of the decision-making of, 1 or maybe 2 people. And that's just it. There's nothing you can point to as precedent and say, well, they did this in this situation in the past, so that's what they're going to do here. They don't adhere to that. So there's just no way to tell ever what they're going to do in any situation.
Do you think he plays football in 2021?
I mean, I guess I would lean toward no. It certainly doesn't seem like the Texans are planning on him playing for them. And if that's the case, I don't think that there's going to be a trade between now and the regular season, or that any team that trades for him would put him on the field until this is resolved one way or the other. So I would say no.
Who is the quarterback for the Eagles week 1? Is it definitely Jalen Hurts, or do you think Joe Flacco can win that job?
Oh, no, I mean, I don't think they're putting Joe Flacco out there. Again, it's a situation where, again, they know Joe Flacco is not the future for them. You might as well see what you have in Jalen Hurts throughout this year, so by this time next year if you want to be, moving forward with him as your quarterback, or if you want to use, one of those picks that you have in next year's draft to get yourself a quarterback.
And finally, Jared, any concern if you're the Cowboys about Dak Prescott and his shoulder injury?
I wasn't concerned until I saw that tweet from the Cowboys where they were like, it's not a setback. Don't be concerned. Now I'm a Cowboys fan myself, So I'm like mildly concerned. But Dak was out at the preseason game yesterday, warming up, throwing the ball down the field. So, and it seems like they're just kind of taking it easy on him for now. Obviously that could change. I believe he's getting an MRI on Monday to sort of confirm that everything is fine. And if something, worse comes out of that, that could change. But it does kind of seem like they're just like, you're working too hard to come back, and we're just going to shut you down for a little bit. He has been throwing over the last several days at least.
Did you like the first episode of Hard Knocks, though? Because I thought it was a pretty good one. I mean, I was disappointed the last couple seasons of what we had, but I thought they started strong in the first episode with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jerry Jones is going to put on a show. He's going to do weird stuff like put salt on his egg and cheese sandwich. And for some reason, Jerry Jones is eating like an egg and cheese sandwich from a gas station or something like that. I mean, the guy's got more billions than any of us will ever see in the rest of our lives combined. But yeah, I mean, look, like I said, they're going to put on a show. They'll put on a show in Oxnard. They'll put on a show when they come back to Dallas. Like, it's going to be entertaining no matter what. I was surprised we didn't see more CeeDee Lamb, who has apparently just been dominating everybody in camp. And I'm hoping the second episode gets into that.
Jared, appreciate the time, man. Great stuff, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Have a good day.
Jared Dubin from CBS Sports joining us there, going around the league, talking all things NFL with him. And yeah, first episode of Hard Knocks, very good. The MRI with Dak, though, that whole situation, that worries me. I understand he warmed up last night, but if you're a Cowboys fan, I mean, you don't want to have to picture life without Dak because you just went through it last year, and we all know how that worked out. Not well if you're giving the ball to Ben DiNucci every single game. Although I guess DiNucci played somewhat well last night. I don't know. There's only so much preseason football I can watch. I did not watch Cardinals-Cowboys last night.
Also, everyone plays so little that I have a hard time like running through my mind of like, wait, is throwing for 99 yards good? Like it's, I guess he was 8 for 17. I have no idea what good stats in the preseason even means, or if they mean anything.
Yeah, that is most definitely fair. Jason in Jerusalem wrote in during that conversation on Twitch. Did you see the SI article about the NFL investigators? Yes, we talked about that earlier this hour when we discussed the latest with Deshaun Watson. Once again, him not being on the exempt list and then just a line of questioning from the NFL's investigative arm does not paint the NFL in a positive light. There's no doubt about that. Jared, by the way, joined us on our Progressive guest line, where drivers who save with Progressive save over $750 on average. We wrap up hour 1 of 3 next. Jake Asman with you. This is the Jake Asman Show right here, coast to coast on Sports Map radio stations nationwide here on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Wake up call. It is remarkable.